Hi guys, so we're at part 4 of this mini series on different alcohol marker tips. We're going to get right into it to create the glitter sparkle effect. So I've already gone ahead and colored in my rainbow. I'm taking exactly the same colors now that they have dried. Big dots. So to do big dots, you just add a little bit more pressure to your marker. And you're going to create some little dots as well. Once in a while I have one that goes out of the rainbow. It adds interest. And you're going to repeat this process with all of the colors that you used. Now once you've already created those dots, you're going to take with their jelly roller pens and you're going to do the same exact thing. So in each layer you're going to do some big dots and some little dots. And now we're going to add a few starbursts. You always start with the middle. So let's say I decide that my starburst is here. I'm going to do a line going up, a line going down, right, left. It's just as simple as that. So stick around for the next episode. We're going to do the water, the sea, just basically just showing you how to do basic water. If you want to leave now, you can leave now, or you can stick around and see how we're going to do the sea. I'm going to use the biggest part of the brush, okay? So I'm going to alternate these colors just very, very randomly. I have no set plan for this. I also like to go over with my clear marker because it'll create some highlights. The clear marker actually pulls out the ink. Instead of blending, it's actually going to create some white highlights where it pulls that ink. That makes it all look more natural, like the little rippling water effect. So a darker color that still looks in the same color family, I would say, is the B270 Vivid Blue. We're going to take this marker and we're going to create some blotches. So just random blotches of water, okay? You've done your blotches. Now you take out your white jelly roller pen and you're going to do the same effect, the blotch effect, but this time instead of filling them in, you're going to do the outlines only. You want to go as randomly as possible. Don't make them too far apart because, like as an example, if I do this blotch here, all of this section right here is going to be colored in white. If I do a blotch here, all of this section right here is going to be colored in white. So you don't want to make them too far away from each other because then you're going to have just a whole page of white. So there you have it. You have the water effect. This could be anywhere. It could be in a pool. It could be in the sea. Doesn't matter. So our next tutorial is going to be the bubbles and the water drop. These are the water drops. And this is the bubble effect that I am going to demonstrate. So let me just do a quick little background so that I can demonstrate some bubbles. I have my background color, and where I'm going to put my bubbles, I like to take my clear marker because don't forget that the background color isn't going to be as opaque when you're looking at it through a screen of a bubble, right, with that reflection. So I like to take my clear marker and I like to start off doing my bubble shape. And it's also going to help for your colors to blend in together. Now you're gonna have to work pretty fast, so I like to open them all in advance so that I'm ready for it. So let me just do another little shot of this because I really like my colors to spread into each other. So I'm just gonna do a little outline of my pink here, and it's going to spread because I've put that clear. I'm putting my yellow right on top of the pink, and I'm putting my blue right on top of the pink and right on top of the yellow. I really like to go over with my clear marker just one more time so that everything sort of spreads out and gives it that more natural bubble look, because don't forget a bubble is like soap, right? So it kind of like mushes one into each other, how that light works. So we can go ahead and do our other bubbles. So I'm starting with my pink. My yellow. My blue. And then clear. And now you're going to do your highlights. Take our jelly roller and we're going to create our light first where it's sitting first. Our light source is coming from there. And you could add like little dots if you want, because there are those different reflections of the soap usually. You could add BG21 on the opposite side of where you put your highlight, so it makes your bubbles pop even more. If you really want it to stand out even more, is you just take your clear again and you're going to go around your bubble in the blue, and you're really just going to press and lift that ink. See how it's creating that little line here? I'm just doing like these little circles, tiny little circles, just to eliminate that and make sure that the ink spreads just a tiny bit more so that it doesn't create that resistance line. So those are your bubbles. Now if you want to do the water drop, if you guys have seen my water drop videos, this is what I'm trying to accomplish when I talk about a drop of water. So you're going to need a couple of colors for this. You're going to take your E195 for the base color. We're using BG082 for this part. I'm going to do like little dots so that I don't have too much of a precise color. I'm going to go here and I'm going to do just this little shadow. It's a little thicker there and it goes smaller there. This is looking a little crazy right now, but it's the base and that's what you gotta do. I like to go over all of this with my blender, and I'm doing circles like this, going from the inside out, and I'm surpassing my bubble just a little bit because I want this ink to sort of spread a little bit out and start to look like a more natural shadow. Or games of light. See how already it just made a really big difference with just smoothing that out? I'm going to add a tiny bit more of my base color here. There's kind of like a little tiny bit of a shadow on top. For warm gray, we're just going to go ahead and create a little shadow on the top part and a little one here go over your entire bubble again. Not the shadow, but just the bubble. Leaving that little white dot there. Now we're going to wait for this to dry, taking my Artex acrylic marker, and I'm going to go ahead and do this part with this. This is when you're really going to see this water drop start to pop and look more realistic. I'm adding just a couple of little dots because, as you can see, we can sort of see the texture of the paper underneath. And I'm going to add a few of the dots in this shadow underneath here. Here, so that really tones down that little shadowing. And now we're going to go ahead and do our jelly roller. So as you can see here, you have a very fine line up here, so we're going to imitate that. We have this sort of starburst here to have a ref, and now we're going to do this last one here, which kind of has this sort of shape. We have a little one here, and let's give it one right here, just to really make that pop. And there you have it.